Kylo Ren. I see you're still wearing that mask. You know there's no need to hide your face from me. I've seen it all before. The good, the bad, the moody. Trust me, nothing shocks me. You might think that mask makes you look intimidating, but deep down, you're just a guy trying to be something you're not. Plus, have you ever tried breathing properly in that thing? You've got a whole galaxy of problems, and your respirator shouldn't be one of them. Let's talk, my child. You've been carrying around a lot of anger, haven't you? It's like you're dragging a space station behind you wherever you go. I get it. Life has been rough. You've been let down, betrayed, confused. But here's the thing. Anger, it's not your friend. It might feel powerful at first, like a lightsaber in your hand, but over time, it consumes you. It blinds you. You ever wonder why the dark side always has such poor visibility? It's because anger narrows your vision. You can't see the whole picture when you're fixated on your own rage. Remember what I said in the Sermon on the Mount? Blessed are the peacemakers. Now I know you're probably thinking, that sounds weak, but trust me, peace is a lot harder to achieve than throwing a temper tantrum and blowing up planets. Peace is strength, Kylo. It's being able to look at the galaxy, see its flaws, and choose to heal it instead of tearing it apart. Anyone can destroy, only the strong can build. And about your grandfather, Darth Vader, Kylo, you've got to let him go. I know you think you're finishing what he started, but a spoiler alert, he finished it himself. He turned back to the light, Ben. In his final moments, Vader chose compassion over hate. That's the legacy he left. Not all the destruction, not the empire, compassion. And here you are, trying to honor his name by doing the opposite. I'm telling you, chasing after Vader's worst days isn't going to bring you peace. It's going to lead you straight to where he was at his lowest. Now let's talk about forgiveness. You're holding on to a lot of grudges, and none of them are doing you any good. It's like you're walking around with a bag full of rocks, getting heavier with every step. Anger at Luke, bitterness toward the Jedi, resentment toward your parents. It's all weighing you down. And the thing about carrying that load, it doesn't hurt anyone but you. Forgiveness isn't about letting people off the hook. It's about setting yourself free. You know how Peter asked me once, Lord, how many times should I forgive someone? 7 times? And I said, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. Now, I'm not saying you have to sit down with Luke Skywalker and have a long heart-to-heart about everything that went wrong, but you do need to let it go. Holding on to that hurt is only fueling the dark side inside you. Trust me, the path to the light isn't in winning every battle or crushing every enemy. It's in choosing mercy, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And Ben, I've got to tell you, this whole destroy everything to make something new plan you've got, it's a dead end. I mean, look around. How's that working out for you? The First Order is falling apart. Your allies are either afraid of you or plotting against you, and even your enemies feel sorry for you. The thing about tearing down the universe to remake it in your image, it leaves you with nothing but rubble. That's not creation, that's chaos. Creation is about nurturing, about giving life, not taking it away. You know, when the world was in chaos, I didn't destroy it. I brought light to it. I looked at all the darkness and said, let there be light. That's what I want you to do, Ben. Stop feeding the darkness. Bring light into the world, even if it's just a flicker at first. Trust me, it will grow. You have that potential within you. One more thing while we're at it. You've got to stop using the Force to throw people around when they irritate you. I know it's tempting. Someone disappoints you and boom, they're flying across the room. But that's not leadership, Ben. That's fear. And you can't rule by fear. Well, you can, but it's not sustainable. It's like building a sandcastle in the middle of a desert storm. Fear breeds rebellion, not loyalty. You want real power, real influence? Lead with kindness, with love. That's how you create something that lasts. I can feel the conflict in you, Kylo. I know you want to be more than this. You're not beyond saving, Ben. No one is. Remember the thief on the cross next to me? He'd lived his whole life making the wrong choices, but in one moment, he asked for grace, and he got it. That's all it takes. A moment, a decision to change. You can still choose the light. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not asking for perfection, but what I am asking is for you to let go of all this hate. It's eating you alive, and it's never going to give you the peace you're searching for. Start small. Maybe stop force choking the next officer who disappoints you. Forgive Luke. Forgive yourself. And remember, peace doesn't come from winning battles or silencing your enemies. It comes from within. Now take off that mask. I'm serious. It's hard to take you seriously when you sound like you're talking through a kazoo. Let the galaxy see your real face, Ben Solo. The good side's waiting for you. I'll be here when you're ready. Now, Ben, we've got to address the elephant, or should I say the Wookiee, in the room. What you did to your father. I know you're probably trying to avoid this conversation, but we can't ignore it. You can't stab someone in the heart, both literally and figuratively, and just sweep it under the rug. I know you're conflicted about it. I felt it in you, the hesitation. Deep down, you knew it wasn't the right choice. That moment, that's where the light was still flickering inside you. But then, well, you know what happened next. Here's the thing, Ben. You might have been trying to prove something to Snoke, or to yourself, or maybe even to your idea of who your grandfather was. But what did it really get you? Did it make you stronger? Did it bring you the peace you were looking for? Because from where I'm standing, all it did was break you a little more. And that's the thing about acts of darkness. They don't complete you, they hollow you out. You remember the story of Cain and Abel? Yeah, it's an old one. Cain thought if he could just get rid of his brother, all of his problems would disappear, that he'd finally get the recognition he wanted. But the truth is, the moment he raised his hand against his brother, he wasn't just hurting Abel, he was destroying a piece of himself. That's the same with you, Ben. When you struck down your father, you weren't just killing Han Solo, you were killing the part of yourself that still believed in love, in family. But here's the good news. No matter how many times you try to snuff out the light, it's still there, waiting for you to embrace it again. Now, I'm not here to guilt trip you. Guilt's a heavy burden, and carrying it around doesn't help anyone. What I am saying is this. You can still honor your father, not by following in his footsteps as a smuggler or a rebel hero, but by choosing a different path. You can honor him by becoming someone he would have been proud of. That doesn't mean you've got to start piloting the Millennium Falcon and running cargo through asteroid fields. No, it means becoming the best version of yourself. The version that he saw in you, even in his final moments. And speaking of that final moment, you remember what he said, right? I know. That wasn't just him accepting what you were about to do. That was him saying he knew the good in you, the potential for redemption. That's what real love is. It sees through the darkness and holds on to hope, even when things look bleak. Han Solo believed in you. Your mother does too. And if they can see the light in you, why can't you? Let's be real, Ben. Killing the people who love you isn't going to get you what you want. You might think it makes you stronger, more in control, but it's only cutting you off from the very things that could heal you. You've been running from love your whole life, but it's the one thing you need the most. The Bible says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." But here's the twist. You don't have to die to show love. You just have to be willing to change, to lay down your pride, your anger, and your fear. That's how you truly honor the people who care about you. Look, I get it. You were trying to forge your own path, to step out of the shadow of your parents, the Jedi, and even your grandfather. But this wasn't the way to do it. Your legacy isn't written in blood. It's written in how you choose to live from this moment forward. You can't undo the past, but you can learn from it. Here's some advice. Start by forgiving yourself. That's the first step. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. But holding on to that guilt isn't going to bring Han back. It's only going to keep you trapped in a cycle of darkness. Remember what I said before. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. You've been carrying this burden for too long. It's time to lay it down. It's not too late, Ben. It never is. Your father's gone, but his love for you, that remains. And if you let it, that love can be the thing that pulls you back to the light.